March is coming to a close, so it's time for another gaming check-in. Let's talk about it. Hello there everybody, and welcome to The Comfy Spot. My name is Tyler, and today we are going to do the latest installment in my new series, Gaming Check-In, where I talk about the games that I have been playing over the past month, the games that I've really been sinking quite a bit of time into, new games, old games, whatever the case may be. This video, I do not imagine it will be as long as the last one because I've not played as many games as I did last time. I've only played 2 games this past month, those being Marathon and Death Stranding 2 once again. I have sunk a considerable amount of time into Death Stranding 2 this month, so we'll have quite a bit to say about that. We're going to start with Marathon though, because it is the new game, it's the new hotness, so I'd rather start with that one first. Although I do not have too much to say because I have not played anywhere near as much of it, because my time with Marathon comes solely from the server slam that happened at the tail end of February leading into the beginning of March. Now, I want to say I played about maybe 5 to 6 or 7 hours of the server slam. Honestly, I cannot remember, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the time I spent with it. I do think Marathon is a very, very, very well-made game, a very good game. But it is not a game for me, and I'll explain why as we talk more about this. But I do want to start just by heaping a bunch of praise on Bungie for their work with Marathon, because my god, Marathon is such a cool game. I've been on this game side since it was first announced, since we saw the gameplay reveal last year, and then we had I think was it last year? I think it was last year when the first gameplay was properly revealed, and then the alpha came out. I didn't get to play the alpha, but the alpha was out there, and then we had the re-reveal at the end of last year. I've been on this game side for a while. I've been wanting it to succeed. I've had a feeling it was going to be a really good game, and man, Marathon is such a good game. The art style, the look, the vibe of the game, it is just so unique to Bungie, to this game. It's not like really anything else out there in the first person shooter space, to be quite specific. It allowed them to carve out their own niche for Bungie with Marathon, and gives the game its own unmistakable identity. You look at this game, you look at the menus, you look at the UI, you can't confuse this game for anything else out there right now. It's not like you could look at Call of Duty and Battlefield and yes, there are visual differences where if you know, but the two are, they're just your standard military shooter and stuff. So you could look at one of them and possibly get them confused for the other. You could look many other games on the market, how everyone says, oh, this game is just it has a Fortnite effect with its visuals, but no, that's not happening here with Marathon. Marathon it's just very unique. I love the look of it all. There's the music as well. It's so good. It just gives this very haunting, mysterious, just ominous vibe to everything. Just so cold, so just weird. It's just so good. It's so good. And this extends as well, as I said before, the UI in the game. It just gives that effect, but also the narrative that you have going on with Marathon. There is a story here. You are. Honestly, I don't even want to get too in depth with it because I'm a bit far removed from it. It's been a while since I played the game. Like I said, I only played the server slam. But from what I can recall, the UESC Marathon, it's a colony ship that had a bunch of people on it, and they travel far away to find a new place for all these people to live. If I remember correctly, something happened to the Marathon ship. It went missing and all, and you basically you put your consciousness into these shells for these things called rudders, and you're essentially a mercenary for hire, more or less. And you do these jobs for these different factions. You go into the planet of Tau City 4 to figure out what happened, to collect items, collect gear for these factions, do jobs for the factions, all with the goal of uncovering what happened to the Marathon ship, what happened on Tau City 4, why has it been abandoned, what happened to everyone that was supposed to go there, what's going on. And that narrative that we have there, it's very intriguing. I was very engrossed in it. I wanted to learn so much more about each of the faction of reps and what was going on here. But again, as you're going through the planet, you're talking with the faction leaders and the menus and stuff. Just the way they talk, the way the planet looks, just how cold and just sparse it is, how there's no living people there, just just the creatures, just the fauna and the flora there, and then the UESC mechs, their AI, their robots that are on the planet and stuff. And it's just like, wow, you go on and it's just, you're looking around and it's quiet, it's empty, it's just, you have the weather changing and all. Everything about it is just like so captivating to me. I could not get enough of Tau City 4 and just the overall vibe of everything going on in the world of Marathon. Like, I wanted to learn so much more about the planet and the various factions. I remember obviously you have the faction you start with, then there is the faction you get after that, which was, I think they're like the food one, I don't remember what they're called. And then I believe I had unlocked the Mida, whatever faction they are. That faction, the one where like it's the guy, he has like kind of like a graffiti sort of like technological mask covering their face and all. That faction. I unlocked those 3 factions, and yeah, again, I just really liked them all. Just again, the vibes were killer, and I was like, ooh, you guys are odd and interesting, and just mysterious. Again, just everything just had so much mystery behind it. I just could not get enough of it. I wanted to learn so much more about all the secrets. I wanted to go into each of these buildings on the planet, on the map, and just like pour over every detail of them. I was just so lost and engrossed in it. It reminded me very much of my experience when I play a Bethesda RPG. And how when I play a Bethesda RPG, and I've said this before on the channel, I believe when I played, when I did my Starfield impressions, as long with other videos as well, I think, where when I play a Bethesda RPG, the world is like what really pulls me in. And if the story is kind of a bit lackluster, it's whatever, because the world is what I'm really like so in love with and just exploring it. And that was the vibe I was getting here. I was so just like sucked in by the world of Tau City 4, by the world of Marathon, where I wanted to just look at every little thing, take my time going through the planet, just taking it all in. I absolutely love it. Bungie killed it on this front. From again, vibes, world design, aesthetic, everything. Bungie did a fantastic job. More importantly, and something that I imagine more of you are really wondering about, when it comes to the gameplay and everything, I really enjoyed the gameplay. The gunplay specifically, as is par for the course for Bungie, is fantastic. It feels very great. When it comes to the runners, you have your different runner shells with their different classes and all. I typically stuck with the what was their class? The recon one, the recon class. I stuck with that class because I was playing solo, and I was like, if I'm playing solo, I'd rather try and have a class that is a bit built towards that. It would be either that one or the assassin one, but I was like, I'll go with recon. That way I can kind of like just try and be aware of when people are around me to an extent. So I did like that class. You have the whole heat system, so if you're sprinting or do like slides, it builds up your heat, and then you have to like let that cool on down. And it's cool how if it's like raining outside, or if you are walking in water, or if you're going through water, your heat actually decreases faster and increases slower. That was cool. And again, that heat system, because your sprint is very limited and all, it causes you to also take your time, be more methodical, be more patient, be more careful and selective with how you traverse the map. You can't just go sprinting all over the place. You're going to make a bunch of noise, and then you're eventually not going to be able to sprint when the time comes and you actually need to, if a fireframe breaks out. If someone just like pops up on you out of nowhere, you're like, oh man, I can't run now. So that was cool. I did like the mechanics that they had there in the game, and how all the classes have their different abilities and stuff. Again, with the recon class, you had like the spider you could throw out, and it would like kind of like track down anyone that was nearby and cause an explosion on them. You also had with the recon class like their ultimate ability that basically sends out pulses that ping any nearby enemies on your map or on your screen. That was very helpful. That was very cool. Like the couple times I was able to use it and stuff. So I did like the gameplay. I liked the classes and everything. I liked the gunplay. And then sticking back out of the map for a moment, out of like the immediate matches. When you're in the menus, you have your vault where you have all your gear and everything. Navigating the menus was a bit tricky at times, or at least at first. Eventually I picked up on it, came to understand, all right, how to navigate this. What does this do? What does that do? Moving my things from my vault over to my actual inventory that I have on me, and being very careful, and again, just really methodical about what do I need to bring with me? What is the gear? What's the faction mission I'm going to try and do right now? What do I need with me to accomplish that? How much space do I want to try and keep save for myself for whatever gear I'm going to pick up while I'm out there? I liked getting into that mindset. It was kind of just like, all right, like I was kind of sort of getting into like that role play mindset in a sense. It was very fun. It was nice to get into that mindset. And then, when you're in the map again, just taking my time going around, like I'm landing on the planet. All right, what is it that I need to do? Where do I need to go? Let me go ping that spot on my map and then start making my way there. Let me be cautious and careful going into this room. Let me see. All right, I'm in here. Cool. No one's in here right now. Doesn't seem like anyone's been in here. Let me try and pick up any items that I feel like I need right now or I could use for future upgrades at all. That'll be cool. That'll be nice. That was fun. But then this start to where we start to get into why I'm not playing Marathon now. Why I did not buy the full game. And the reason being is that ultimately it comes down to two things. And it is by no fault of the game itself. It is a me thing, not a game thing. Ultimately, it comes down to two things. One, Marathon is an extraction shooter. And extraction shooters, just not my thing generally, really at all. I'm not a fan of one life to live modes in first person shooter games. That's why, when I played Call of Duty, I would never play Search and Destroy because I did not like it. I did not find it to be fun at all. Battle Royale games, I really do not play. Like Fortnite is the only one I play, and even that is like once in a blue moon when I get a hankering just to play something different. I'll play some Fortnite, and even then, watching me play Fortnite is probably the most boring thing because I'm just focused on survival and not fighting as much as possible. So yeah, like Warzone, I played it barely when it first came out, and I was like, not for me. I don't really find this all that fun. So going into a Marathon, I knew what it was. I knew the type of game it was, and I knew how high stakes extraction shooters can be. But when you combine that one life to live aspect and raise the stakes with, hey, anything you go into a match with, you will lose. Like you will actually lose gear you go into a match with if you die. It's a recipe for me. It's two things colliding where I just don't mesh with it. I don't gel with it. It is like the exact opposite type of like game or gameplay style that I like to enjoy and play. So on that front, I was just like, there's a lot of friction here and it's not really gelling with me. Again, by no fault of the game itself. It is not a problem. It's not a problem with the game. It is a me thing that I personally do not enjoy. But again, I did have some fun when I was playing the game, like going through, coming across the enemy. I'm like, oh shoot, all right, I got it. Let me take him out. Like I wouldn't want to. I would try to avoid a fight if I had to, but I knew like, hey, this is Marathon. Unfortunately, people are ruthless. They're not gonna, be patient or try and be friendly. I gotta take them out. So I did what I could, but sometimes I got the jump on. People got the jump on me, and it was just like, well. I lost the gear I went into that match with after losing gear, 3 times in a row. So, well, that sucks. I'm gonna use a sponsored kit, which is cool. It's nice that they have sponsored kits that, is just free gear. You could use these to get into a match, try and collect some more stuff, and then come back and have, have more stuff in your vault. Or the Rook runs, which the Rook class, very cool, very underrated. You just go into a match that, you go into a match, you don't bring in any gear from your vault. You go into a match and they give you a randomized set of gear. And of course you can kind of change this as you level up the class itself. But you go into a match with a randomized set of gear. It's a match that's already in progress. And the goal is as a Rook run is you go in, pick up some gear and get out. And again, there's no real stakes here because you're not actually putting any of your own gear on the line if you die. So there's no stakes here. This is like as casual as Marathon gets. So that was cool. I did enjoy the few Rook runs that I did. And when I did Rook, I tried to be like friendly to an extent. I know one Rook run I did, I was like, all right, trying to be low key and everything. And then I saw some people, some other players, and I was like, all right, hold on. It was another squad, and I thought I saw them, but they were about to extract. I was like, all right, I want to try and extract with them, but I don't want. I'm gonna like just like try and jump on down as soon as the extraction is about to like finish. Except one of their people, I think they might have seen me, so then they came on up, and then I had to. It turned into a firefight. I almost died. I could have like finished off one of them, but I didn't because I didn't want to kill anyone. I wanted us all to leave together. We ended up all leaving together. 3 of us down on the ground, of course, but we left together. And then another run I did, I saw a crew about to leave. They were going to a guarded exfil, and I was like, all right, I turned on the proc chat. I said, hey guys, I'm not trying to fight you guys. I'm a rook coming behind you. I'm trying to leave with you all. I'll help you fight these guys. And I helped them fight the UESC people, and I said, cool, and I was like, hey guys, I'm coming up behind you, you know, friendly, not trying to hurt you, just trying to leave, I'm just trying to leave. And then one of them shot me down and killed me, and I was just like, ah, darn. And I like pulled myself into the exfil, and I think one of their triage was trying to res me with their ult, except their ult killed me, so I left with nothing. It was funny, and I had a good time with that and all. But again, just the high stakes of extraction shooters and the one life to live aspect of it does not mesh with me. The other factor of it is that Marathon is definitely a game that you will get the most enjoyment out of if you are playing with a group of people, specifically a group of people you know. And you can play solo. You can play solo, and if you go into a match solo, you will only play against other solo players, which is cool. That is how I played. You could also play do a solo player like run, but you can have your crew get filled up with other players, so like matchmake you with other people who need crew fill, which is something, yeah, like that's cool. But I was like, all right, like I already know this is the type of game where if I'm gonna play with a crew, it needs to be people that I know, so I can actually like coordinate with them and stuff. So that's why I never did the crew fill. And as a solo player, if this is a game where you are only playing by yourself, you don't know anyone else, I don't know how much enjoyment you will get out of it, because Marathon is definitely a game that is built and designed around you playing with people that you know, you having a crew that you know that you can communicate with, plan things out with, figure out secrets with, team up with and stuff. That is the type of game this is, and that is not, I don't have that. I'm a solo person here. So combine that solo experience with the clash in terms of the gameplay style and design. Marathon, unfortunately, not a game for me. I don't see myself getting it in the near future. It looks amazing. Everything that I've seen since the game has come out has looked so cool and so fun. FOMO has been there for me, but I'll be fine. I'll be okay. Anyone who's playing Marathon right now, I hope you've been enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed the Cryo Archive when they opened that up. I know everyone was raving about Outpost and how awesome Outpost was. So again, everything about Marathon, super cool. It is a very well-made game. It is a fun game. I see the fun in it. I see the fun that comes from that high stakes, that intensity, that high risk, high reward, because I felt it at times when I was playing. But ultimately, it's just not a game for me. It is what it is, and I'm totally fine with that. All right, the second game I played this month is going to be Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Again, yes, I've been playing far more of this month. When I finished, or when I did my February video, I was about 17 or so hours into it. Now I am like 65, 67, something like that. I've played a lot of Death Stranding 2. For story context, I am in chapter 8 now. I have made it to the cryptobiologist, I believe. It's the woman in the mountains, the first woman in the snow mountains that you meet after you get to the East Knot city in chapter 8. So that's where I am narratively. I just did my first delivery there for her. And yeah, I've done so much in this game. Let's talk about some of the things I've done. I've done a lot of building. I've done so much building in this game. I have built the entire highway for the first section of the map over by F1. I built the whole highway in the F2 section. The only thing that's left for me to build actually is one segment of the road leading from Rainbow Valley to Animal Shelter. There's one segment there that I still have to build. Other than that, I've helped basically build up the entire highway in those sections. I've built up the entire monorail and mine section going from on the northwest side of the continent. I made a zipline trail that for easy travel between the Dowser and F2, so that's awesome. I built a fair chunk of the third highway leading from F2 all the way to the east coast towards the East Knot City over there. Built a fair chunk of that highway up. I built most of the highway in the desert. There's only one chunk of highway up there, I believe, that's missing from, I think it's the one leading directly to the mine that's up there in the desert. That's the only one left. And I built the mine that's the monorail, actually, that leads directly from the desert mine all the way to East Fort Knot. So I've done so much building, and it is so damn satisfying to constantly get rewarded with likes for all the work that I put in, making things easier for myself and other players. Like, it's so good. It's so satisfying. Again, it's the type of thing that I love in Death Stranding. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna drop this stuff off here, drop this stuff off here, I'm gonna build this and build that. It's just so good just seeing the fruits of my labor, seeing my hard work just like come to fruition. It's like, yeah, I did that, we did that, this is awesome, this is great, I love it. I've also worked so hard building my relationship with a lot of the characters in the game. So I got 5 stars with everyone in Mexico. I went back to Mexico at some point, I think in like chapter 5 or 6, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna go back there, and I wanted to like max out my relationship with everyone there. So I did that, and that was a lot of fun. That was cool. When I was out there, one mission I had to do, I think it was for the woman at La Via Libre, I believe is the name of the place. There was a job I had to do where I had to go back to the God, what would you call it? Like the roadway, the post, the stop, the toll sensor, essentially leading from like Mexico to Sam's place. And you know, that's where you have some mules there. So I had to do a delivery. I had to go there and like destroy some stuff that was there. So I went there, got some of the stuff, put it down. I got all the things I needed. And then the enemy had actually seen me at one point. So I had like baited him farther out from where all the other enemies were. And I took him out. Then after I got all the stuff I had to destroy, I placed it down by that guy. And I wasn't thinking. I kind of forgot, hey, if you blow this stuff up next to this body that's unconscious, it'll kill the person. I blew the stuff up next to the body and killed the person. So there may or may not be some BTs there when I go back. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I've yet to be back. But killed the person, and I was like, oh, wait, right, not good. But I already knew like it was going to alert all the other enemies to me, which is why I did it the way I did. So I got on my tricycle thing, my tri-rider, and then there was a sandstorm coming right anyway. So I got on it, turned around, drove off into the sandstorm to escape all the way back to East Knot. It was actually really cool, very cinematic, very fun. Loved that. So that was a cool thing that I did at that point. I did the Pizza Chef mystery. That was cool. I also 5-starred him as well. But the Pizza Chef mystery, that was neat. Had a really fun conclusion. That whole cutscene of you fighting him, doing pizza style moves and everything, that was really funny. And it was cool how maxing him out, you know, got me these really cool and silly like martial arts attacks and stuff from him. I haven't done them in actual combat yet, but I tried them out after I got each one, and they're goofy, but they're also really cool and really fun. Also, the Headless Rider mission, that was a very cool one. It was a bit tough just because it was like, all right, I'm trying to like, I had yet to ever like actually do shooting and driving at the same time in Death Stranding 2. This was my first time doing it, so it's like, oh man, learning on the fly while also picking the stuff up and trying not to get hit and everything. And this mission's kind of going on longer than I expected. It was still a cool mission. Nonetheless, though, that was a fun one to do for the Ghost Hunter. So yeah, it's been an absolute delight just going through this world, building it up, seeing everything that has to be seen, taking my time, just walking through, driving through. It's been so good, so much fun. As it pertains to the story, again, like I said, I'm in chapter 8 right now. Again, quite a ways into the game. So let's talk about some of the sequences. The alternate world sequences where you interact with, or you have to fight Neil, rather. Those have been really cool. That first one is the one, you know, in the city of where it's like they're doing the Dia de la Muerta stuff. I believe that's what they were doing there. You have like, this is the one where it's always been showcased with all like the sparkle, the sparks and everything, and the fireworks and stuff just constantly going off. It was visually stunning in the trailers, and it was visually stunning playing it on my PS5 as well. So it did not disappoint. And the second underwater sequence that you do with Neo, and that one where you have like you're able like to jump higher and stuff, That sequence was also a cool one. Again, I said it before, I said it on social media, but like Kojima always does such a damn good job introducing the antagonist in these dream sequences, whether it was in the first game with Cliff Unger and how he would always come on in, and now the second game here with Neil. The way Neil, they're just introduced in these very cinematic, badass ways that just like, they raise the tension as soon as the sequence started. Just like, all right, how's this gonna play out? How's this gonna go? What's gonna happen here? And then they come in, Cliff or Neo comes on in, and they just like are aura farming. It's just cool. I love those sequences. They're really fun. Beyond Neil, I want to talk about Rainey real quickly. Rainey, I love her as a character. Her backstory, so sad, so unfortunate the way she was treated, but she is such a ray of sunshine that I cannot help but smile whenever she is on the screen. And I love how when we first get introduced to her, we got the raindrops falling on my head, like that's playing and everything, and she's just there, just da-da-da-da-da. I love her. I love Rainey. She is so great. She's the best. The whole quizzes that we had to do with her every so often when leaving the Magellan, they were a bit tough. But those were cute little fun things. Just like, thanks Sam, good job. Just like, love it. Tomorrow, she's a cool character so far. Definitely intrigued to learn more about her, like where it was she actually came from. Like, did she come from that Dia de la Muerta world, or was she like just did she come from somewhere else that then led her there and then we found her? I really want to know. There's a lot going on with Tomorrow that I'm still curious to find out about. But her superhero moment though, in chapter 6, that went crazy. Was not expecting that in the slightest bit, but for like 2.5 minutes, Death Stranding 2 turned into a superhero movie, and it was fire. It was dope. I was sitting here like, oh god, oh damn, like what? She's doing this, she's doing that, she can do this with her powers. This is crazy. Like, it was dope. I loved it. Cannot wait to see more from her. Definitely hoping to see her, gain more control of her powers and just figure out more about where she came from. I'm so fascinated to learn about that. The motherhood, where with the doctor there, I love that group, what they stand for. They're really great. Just fantastic set of characters right there. That Higgs Robo Samurai fight that was in some of the trailers was also wild to see in person, in game. It was wild in the best way possible. Like, Higgs playing the guitar while teleporting around and jumping around was absurdly hilarious, but like seemingly like appropriate for Kojima and stuff. Definitely looking forward to figuring out what's going on with Higgs, since like he lost his limbs and they were made of tar. So like I'm guessing there's something similar there as to what happened with Tarman, what we learned about his backstory. Definitely curious to figure out about that. And then also the wrinkle with that we learn more about Sam's past and Neil's past and how they're connected with each other and stuff. Through the therapist that they shared. Very interested in figuring out like how much deeper Neil's connection to Sam goes. It'll be very, very interesting to find out what happens there. I'm all in on that. And I also really thought the Moby Dick fourth wall break was so silly and so funny. It was just like, oh yeah, this is a nice read of Moby Dick, and then just randomly, yeah, this reminds me of Kojima Productions. Sam, have you ever heard of Kojima Productions? Just like, wait, what? What are we even doing here? It was funny, but I was all in on it. So yeah, like this game, man, I've just been having the time of my life playing it. The more I have played it though, I will say that I have come to see more and more and understand the critique that Death Stranding 2 was getting when it first came out, about how this game sands down the rough edges of Death Stranding 1 to become more accessible, but at the same time it kind of like lost its edge in the process and kind of became a bit more sanitized and easy and simplified. Like, BTs really are not necessarily threats in this game, and they were more, they not like they were like the craziest threats in the first game, but they were more of a threat in the first game than they are here. Now they are definitely more of just like an obstacle to contend with because of how easy they are to deal with. And of course, part of that could be because I have all this experience with both games now, so that's a factor in things. I know how to easily manage BTs and stuff. They're not really an issue, but I do feel like, like BTs aren't really a problem anymore. The A pass enhancements that you can get, they offer a lot of cool passive boons and perks and stuff that are helpful, and I have many of them activated. They're kind of just there though. They do help things. Maybe, you know, they do help things maybe a tad too much and all, but they're fine, I think. There's also the fact that practically every gun is usable in combat now, so like there's no fear about fighting enemies in the world with the gun and killing them like there was in the first game, where you have to be very careful. Like, all right, I don't want to cause a void out with BT, so I need to just like use non-lethal methods of taking guys down. Now it's like, nah, you can walk up into an enemy base with basically every gun you have and just pow, 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 because the bullets, they are multi-purpose bullets. They can be non-lethal on humans, and they can be lethal against BTs. So it's like, it's cool. It's a nice feature. It's nice to have it, but it does make things a tad easier than they were in the first game. The vehicles also having sticky guns now for the trucks, the off-roaders, you being able to attach sticky guns and actual guns on them. It's nice how it makes it easier in terms of driving through an enemy area. You can just pop them all down with the guns on it, or while you're driving around the world, easily collecting gear that's cargo that's on the road. But it does kind of sand down that edge of you have to actually get out, pick up the stuff, put it on the truck. That is a quality of life thing that is nice to have. At the same time, it does kind of sand down edges a bit. Again, this all makes for experience that is simultaneously better than the first game from a gameplay perspective, but also makes this a significantly less challenging game than the first one as well. And I don't have a problem with it, to be clear, I don't. I do think it is for the better for the most part, but I do acknowledge what's happening here. And again, like I said before, part of this could just also be that I am more experienced with the series after playing the first game and then jumping into this one, so soon after. Like, I had 60 hours in the first game. I had a lot of fun with it, but I learned a lot of how to like navigate the world of Death Stranding and get around things and stuff. So you combine my experience with the series with these new additions, that could also be a factor in why I'm feeling this way. But nevertheless, I have greatly enjoyed my time with Death Stranding 2 so far. I don't know if I will be done with it by the time we do the April gaming check-in. I might be. I would like to be, because there are games coming up that I want to play, such as Pragmata, such as Replaced, such as Sorrows at the end of April. So I know that like once those games start coming out, Death Stranding 2 is going to get sidelined for quite a bit of time. So I would like to finish it before those games come out. We will see. I don't want to rush my time with the game though, so whatever happens, happens. But either way, Death Stranding 2 has been so much fun. It has been just the time of my life. I've been having the time of my life playing this game, whether it be me walking up a mountain, walking up a hill, getting over the crest of the hill, and just seeing the sunrise with the Magellan there in the distance, like such a beautiful sight. And then shortly after, riding the floating carrier down the said hill, and then busting my ass on it, because clearly I've never used a floating carrier as a skateboard before. Whether it be that, whether it be dealing with BTs out in the world, whether it be getting through the desert, or also just like out in the desert, taking out enemy like drone type things, and then all of a sudden getting jumped by these chiral beings just out of nowhere. Just like so many crazy things have been going on in this game. Regardless, I've just been having so much fun reconnecting Australia and just having this be my cozy game. This is like the definition of a cozy game for me. It's been so much fun. So that's it for my March gaming check-in. I think this video was probably about as long as the February one. Again, did not expect it to be, did not intend it to be. Let me know your thoughts about these games down in the comment section below. Are you enjoying Marathon? Did you play it? Did you not like it? Did you play it and are you loving it? Let me know down a little bit in the comment section. And with Death Stranding 2, if you have been playing, or if you are going to be playing that, or did play it, let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts on where I am, my feelings on it and everything. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts, disagree, so on and so forth, down in the comment section below. And again, give me feedback on this video series, this new series of doing gaming check-in, anything I can work on, so on and so forth. All that said though, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like on it if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And hit the notification bell. That way you know as soon as new videos go live. My name is Tyler. This has been The Comfy Spot. we'll talk next time. Have a good one.